Hello and welcome to Studio 9. My name is Deborah York, and today we're going to be focusing on finding your feet and engaging your core. And this is a very good practice for beginners and or intermediates because we'll be covering a lot of alignment principles and safety and just really great foundation to always represent yourself to, even as an intermediate or an advanced student. What I recommend is having a sticky mat and also a block. And we're going to have the block sitting in this direction, and you want it right underneath your sit bones. And you're able to press the foot, each side of the foot, into the block, and then sit back on just the edge. And then place your hands on your thigh. Another thing you'll hear me say throughout this sequence is called hugging your center. And when I say that, what I'm referring to is lifting through the pelvic floor. And as you lift through the pelvic floor, you'll feel a lift in the abdominal muscles. So it's not a pulling back and squeezing in, but it's a lifting up from this pelvic floor to the center of the abdomen, and it will naturally come back a little bit. And what that does for you, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see this. So when you let the center go, you can see that I have an arch in the back. And when I hug my center, you'll see the tailbone lengthens down. And you'll feel a lengthening from the pubic to the sternum. And this is, I will be referring this throughout the sequence to hug your center. And so that's what I mean, is pull up the pelvic floor, gently pull up in the belly, and you'll feel the hip wrap under. So it stabilizes and protects the sacrum. So I'll come back. So I want to do a little bit of a centering before we start the sequence by integrating some neck work. And then opening the eyes, bringing the fingers to the floor. Take your block aside. And then coming to the toes. So have the toes just about 2 inches apart. And then you want to lift the heels so they're right over your toes. So this may be some good burning. And this is actually where the core begins, the base of your big toe, toenail, and then it moves up through the arch, through the inner leg, up through the groin, in through the belly, and up to the sternum. So this is actually where the core begins. So bringing the knees to the earth, make sure your little toe is with you. And then again, you want to hug your center, and then interlace your fingers in the back. And I'm going to show you from the side. So the tendency is to do this, or even hyperextend elbows. So we're looking for hugging the center and protecting the elbow joints, working the head of your arm bones back to squeeze in between the shoulder blades. And these are known as your rhomboids. Hugging your center, then lifting the arms, pull the arms back, careful not to let the neck come forward. So this is a nice burn on the toes. And release. Coming forward to release the toes to sit now on the tops of the feet. We're going to lift the knees. Now stretching the feet in the opposite direction. And then another stretch you can do is, if you're real flexible, you can lift up, and or you can lean back. And then releasing that, take your hips to the right. And let's create a side stretch to open the ribs so the breath can be even fuller. Let the arm hang. And then take the elbow back and again hug your center here. The tendency is again to arch. And then a big breath in on the exhalation, reach through the fingers. Keep the head nice and soft and loose. Again, you can close your eyes. Connect to your breath, what you're experiencing in your body. Then reaching for the ceiling, inhale, circle the wrist. So aware of what you're feeling in the wrist. And the other way. And then wiggle your fingers. And then shake off cell phone, computer. Shake all that energy off and out of the arms. And then reach through your fingers and out to the side and behind you. Let the head fall. Close your eyes and breathe. You can change the stretch a little bit by dropping the chin, tucking it in toward your chest. And then allow that arm to gently pull you up so slow. The head's heavy to the very end. And then to integrate, shake your head, wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your ribs, and then come back around for another round of toe stretch. Separating the toes about 2 inches. Lift the heels high over the toes. So in the numerology system, the feet are actually considered the first chakra. And then bring the knees forward. Again, check to make sure that the little toe's with you. Opposite little finger interlaces in the back. Hug your center. Again, careful to not hyperextend elbows. Big breath in, exhale, reach for this floor, pulling the shoulders away from the ears. Continue in that reach, raise the arms. Here you can close your eyes again and just go inward to have an inner experience of connecting to your breath and your body. And release. Bringing your hands back, coming to the tops of the feet and lifting the knees. This is great for developing healthy arches, which also reflects a healthy spine. And bring the hips to the left for our side stretch. Hug your center, right hand out to the side, left hand, and just let it be heavy here. Big breath, so the breath is stretching the ribs. Take the elbow back, hug your center. Big breath in, reach through your fingers. And then inhale, reach you for the ceiling, circle your wrist. And the other direction. So it's always a good idea to take care of your joints, lubricating the joints, moving the synovial fluid. Wiggle the fingers, all the little joints in the fingers, and then reach it through the fingers. Actually, let's shake out the arm. Cell phone and computer energy. I always love to have sounds in my practice. It's another way of letting go of tension. Reach through the fingers and out to the side. A little bit behind you. Taking the chin toward your chest. Close your eyes. Just focusing on the sensation in your neck. Letting your head be very heavy, your face soft. And then begin to allow that left arm to pull you up. The head's heavy to the very end. Very, very, very slow. Yummy. Shake it out. Dance your shoulders, dance your ribs, and release the feet. And bounce in behind the legs. Like a self-massage. And then rock out. And notice the difference that you feel in your feet. More aliveness, tingleness. And let's come back into our child pose. So coming back at the back of your sticky mat, the big toes touch. Have the knees as wide as your mat and wiggle, wiggle forward. Coming forward to rest on the forehead. And here you can just let your belly go. Big breath back into the kidneys, feeling the kidneys puff out, the ribs expand. Again, look into your third eye. So connecting the third eye chakra to the earth.